The Krizoth had perfected the art of the hunt across 17,000 years. Their chitinous armor gleamed obsidian under alien suns, and their 6 eyes could track prey across dimensional rifts. They were apex predators in a galaxy that had learned to fear the sound of their war drums echoing through hyperspace. Commander Thelzara stood aboard the Eternal Fang, watching through the viewport as another world burned. The Yulari had been a peaceful species, their crystalline cities beautiful even as they crumbled. They would make excellent trophies. The ones who survived would serve as livestock, as had hundreds of species before them. The humans have issued another transmission, his subordinate hissed, mandibles clicking with what might have been amusement. Again, Thelzara's translator couldn't quite capture his contempt. These Earth creatures are persistent in their foolishness. What do they want now? They demand we cease our hunting operations in the Orion Arm. They claim it is a war crime. The command deck erupted in chittering laughter. War crimes, as if the prey could dictate terms to predators. The Krizoth had never encountered a species audacious enough to challenge them with mere words, while possessing no real power to back such claims. Inform them we will visit their world next, Thelzara decided. Let them understand the price of insolence. 3 months later, Thelzara learned that humans understood prices very well. They simply chose to pay them differently. The Eternal Fang shuddered as something tore through its shields. Impossible. Krizoth technology was millennia ahead of these upstart primates who had barely achieved faster-than-light travel. Report, he roared. 12 human vessels, Commander. They emerged from slip space directly behind our formation. Our sensors never detected. Another impact. Then another. The lights flickered. They're using kinetic weapons, the tactical officer said, all 4 of his voice tympans vibrating with stress. Depleted uranium rounds accelerated to .97 light speed. Hundreds of thousands of them. Our armor is ablating. Thelzara watched in disbelief as human ships danced through space with impossible agility. Each one smaller than a Krizoth fighter, but moving with coordinated precision that suggested a hive mind. But humans were individuals, chaotic and emotional. How were they achieving this? Their ships are barely shielded, his officer continued. They're sacrificing defense for speed and firepower. It's suicidal, but effective. 3 Krizoth dreadnoughts were already listing, their armor stripped away by the relentless kinetic barrage. The humans weren't trying to match Krizoth technology. They were simply overwhelming it with brutal, efficient violence. This is Captain Sarah Chen of the UES Vindication. A human voice crackled over the comm. You have entered human-protected space. You have 15 seconds to surrender or be destroyed. Thelzara's mandibles spread in what his species considered a smile. Surrender to prey? Never. Activate the dimensional rifts. We'll escape and return with the full fleet. Rift generators are offline, Commander. The humans targeted them first, of course they did. Thelzara felt something unfamiliar crawling up his neural column. It took him a moment to recognize it as fear. 10 seconds, the human captain said calmly. Return fire.
All weapons!
The Krizoth plasma cannons finally cycled up, firing burning lances of exotic matter toward the human ships. 2 of them died instantly, vaporized in nuclear fire. But the rest kept coming, adjusting their trajectories without even slowing down. They're not afraid, his tactical officer whispered. They saw their companions die and didn't even hesitate. Thelzara understood then. The Krizoth had hunted species after species, always choosing prey that ran, that begged, that tried to negotiate or hide. They had never encountered a species whose first instinct was to bare their teeth and charge directly into the jaws of a superior predator. Humans didn't just fight back. They counter-hunted. Time's up, Captain Chen said. 6 months after that engagement, the Krizoth Dominion faced an unfamiliar situation. They were losing territory. Human fleets had begun appearing wherever Krizoth hunters operated. They didn't negotiate. They didn't issue warnings. They simply arrived with overwhelming force and destroyed every Krizoth vessel they found. When the Krizoth tried to retreat to their fortress worlds, the humans followed. The prey species the Krizoth had enslaved watched in amazement as their tormentors were systematically dismantled by creatures even more relentless than the hunters themselves. Humans fought with a cold fury that terrified even hardened warriors. They studied Krizoth tactics, learned their language, infiltrated their networks, and exploited every weakness with calculated precision. But what truly broke the Krizoth wasn't human weapons or tactics. It was human memory. They kept records. Detailed records. Every species the Krizoth had hunted. Every world they'd burned. Every crime they'd committed across 17,000 years. And humans didn't just want to stop the Krizoth. They wanted justice for every victim. Thelzara, now a prisoner awaiting trial, watched through a transparisteel window as human engineers worked alongside freed Yulari to rebuild their crystalline cities. A human guard stood nearby, young and unremarkable. "Why?" Thelzara asked. "You are warriors. Why waste resources rebuilding prey?" The guard looked at him with something that might have been pity. "That's the difference between us, Commander. You see prey, we see people." Thelzara's mandibles clicked in confusion. "You hunt us like prey. You pursue us across the stars. How are you different?" "Because," the guard said, "when we're done hunting hunters, we help heal those they've hurt. You hunt for glory and trophies. We hunt because someone has to stop monsters." The guard walked away, leaving Thelzara alone with a revelation that would haunt him for the rest of his days. In a galaxy full of predators and prey, humans had somehow become both and neither. They were persistence hunters who never forgot a wrong and never stopped until justice was served. The Krizoth had hunted every species they encountered, but humanity had taught them a fundamental truth that 17,000 years of dominance had made them forget. There's always something higher on the food chain, and sometimes it pursues you back.